Hello and welcome to Editing with My Wife, now with more introspection. My name's The Hooded Philosopher and I'm here with Cheesy Loops. Cheesy Loops, you doing any introspecting recently?
No.
Oh,
Why?
okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna make you say it on the camera anyway, on the bike anyway. But now is it time to...
If you got time to lean, you got time to clean.
What are we talking about anymore? Is that introspection?
We're not talking about introspection. We're talking about chapter 9.
Getting stuff done.
Let's see what dragons have to do with this story. No, you gotta follow it. Follow. It's okay. Follow. Follow it. You're such a butthead. Alright. Chapter 9. A place where people aren't. That sounds too good. Glimmer was finally home after all these years. They were in an empty forest surrounded by trees. The sound of chopping off in the distance caught their attention. Glimmer started walking toward it. Eleanor followed. They came upon a rugged, shirtless man with great fairy wings coming out of his bare back. He was chopping down a tree.
Oh.
Whoa! You went to the next chapter. There you go. He stopped when he saw them coming. Hail, Brother Glimmer. I never thought I'd see you again. At least not after you were tossed out. Where does your journey take you? Eleanor stepped up, her eyes glowing as a sign to the woodsman. The first task on our journey is to slay the great beast protecting the first will of the arcane divine. His eyes grew before her. He bowed deeply to her. I apologize. I was not aware I was in the company of such greatness. Eleanor laughed. You know, Eleanor, you could just let me relay the information. She laughed as if someone said something. The woman stayed low. Glimmer walked over to him and placed his hand on the bare shoulder. He arose as Eleanor said, Sorry about that. The dragon spoke through me. She let out another laugh. I'm just a woman, nothing more. And I wish for a friend, not a follower. Stand up, friend. Tell me how I can get to... What was it again? Oh, yeah, the first will of the arcane divine. Did I say it the opposite way the first time around?
I don't know. Maybe I should flip it.
Maybe. She rolled her eyes at herself. Okay, where to, my fine fellow? There we go. Glimmer laughed at her misunderstanding. We journey to the land of Gilgaria. Gilgaria?
Yeah. Gilgaria.
Gilgaria.
I don't know. However you want to say it is the right way.
You just... on the keyboard.
Oh, no, I could actually explain it.
Okay. Later.
Yeah.
The seat of the first power. The blessed tale, the one that never ceases. Wow. After he pointed off in the direction they went, he returned to a bow. Hey, highlight that whole thing. The distant sound of an axe on wood eventually resumed. There is no place in the land of the Fae, only the journey.
What am I saying? I know what I'm trying to say, I just didn't say it very well.
Yeah, you didn't. Wait, how are we going to get to the land of Galeria? She said, stumbling over the name. Everything you see is an illusion. We all know it is. Why not pretend? At the very least, it could be enjoyable. As you humans like to say, we use our imagination. After all, it's all we have. As he was saying this, he plucked an apple out of a tree and tossed it to her. The people of Galeria are an ancient people who live in caves, near a more temperate part of the forest. The forest was already changing. The trees became similar. The foliage changed, and it got a little hot. Ouch. You know what? Don't even.
You gotta get the words. We gotta figure out how to say it better, right?
We're doing this to this whole thing. The noises of larger creatures came The noises of larger creatures came, stepping just out of view. Is it dangerous? She asked, reaching out to push some tall grass out of the way. His response was not very encouraging. Very. They pushed on, ahead, keeping quiet as they moved. The trees and the grass gave way to a clearing. In the center of a low valley was a short cliffside. Little constructions out front marked the life that lived in there. They are called gillfolk. She could see them. They look like men hunched over in furs.
Covered in furs.
Oh, hunched over, covered in furs. They don't speak a lot, or well. Just bear with me, I'll get us to the first will, he said. He stepped out, and she followed. Their clothes changed to match as they walked in. Eleanor messed with the fringes of her new garments, showing off a little more skin than she was used to. Do these clothes have to be so revealing? You're a dragon. You can change it, he said, laughing under his breath. That's what she said. That is what she said, Eleanor sighed. I was wondering if they will say anything about us looking different. Oh no, we don't look like anything as we don't look like anything as we move through the journey. Everyone sees what they see, nothing more. His vague answer seemed to infuriate her at first, but she quickly calmed down. An answer in her head.
The reader, right?
Did
Everyone sees what they see and nothing more.
Some of the locals came walking up to them. A short, stocky man flanked on either side by men holding spears. They seemed friendly. Glimmer recognized one of them, greeting him, shouting, "Gar!" When Gar got close enough, he punched Glimmer in the stomach. That's the best line in the whole thing. Alright. The reason why I said don't highlight anything, because this one needs a lot of work.
It does. It does, but it's all there. Like a lecture's worth of work.
Okay. So.
Let's get rid of the red lines and then work through it from there. Okay, the reason why this he was something important.
I don't know. There's a lot that needs to be fixed with this. Okay.
You're right. Maybe I should just get rid of the red lines and work through it chapter paragraph by paragraph.
Yeah. Because as we move through it,
it's like cut funny. I got the paragraphs in funny places. Is what it feels like.
You got paragraphs in funny places. You got sentences that you didn't like
expound upon. I just left it to be random.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see it. Okay, so let's start with this first part.
Alright, Glimmer was finally home after all these years. They were in an empty forest surrounded by trees. The sound of chopping off in the distance caught their attention. Glimmer started walking toward it. Eleanor followed. They came upon a rugged... Okay, so... Period after attention.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too. Okay.
Glimmer started walking toward, comma, Eleanor followed. Period. They came upon a rugged, shirtless man with great fairy wings coming out of his bare back. He was chopping down a tree.
Let's talk about this
Ow!
real quick. Fairy wings can mean many things, right?
Yeah.
Can go from like butterfly to dragonfly.
To dragon to bat to...
Bat, though?
Dragon bat.
Fairy with bat wings?
Yeah. I've seen it.
Huh. Alright. I guess
they tend to be on the eviler side.
Yeah. And then yeah. So, should I add color? Should I add texture to the wing?
He's so small. This is their first fae they've met in the journey.
You don't ever see his name, right?
No, you don't see him. He's just referred to as a woodsman.
Shirtless woodsman. Yeah. He's a shirtless woodsman.
Yeah. So he doesn't... I don't think you need to expound upon him. You're showing that they're not in the normal world. Yeah.
Well, and the wings of that of the fae. The fairies that live in that general area, they all have their wings showing when they're out there. Well, they usually do.
Yeah.
And Glimmer's holding his back for a reason. And Eleanor has wings too. Yeah. Anyway.
Sure.
Why is this in this? It says and Eleanor follow. I don't think that's necessary. Just another word, another and in the book that doesn't need to be there.
Okay, so Eleanor stepped up, her eyes glowing as a sign to the woodsman. What sign are you trying to get through here?
The dragon took control for a second.
I see.
That's the idea. Her eyes glowing is the sign that she's not really in control of the body. And to the woodsman, he sees it and he knows it's a dragon.
Yeah, you kind of... It's the next kind of thing. And it's fine. As I was reading it, I realized, oh yeah, he is realizing what happened.
Yeah, yeah.
The first task on our journey is to slay the
And you see
great
it happen,
beast protecting the first will of the arcane divine.
Okay.
Do you want it divine arcane or arcane divine? Which way do you want it?
They're to be interchangeable.
They could be interchangeable?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because the arcane and the divine are not referring to... They're both referring to an object.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is both arcane and divine.
I see.
So it's kind of like, it can be divine arcane.
Uh-huh.
Whatever sounds prettier. I think divine arcane might sound prettier. Do it again. I hear it.
His eyes grew before her. He bowed deeply to her. I apologize. I was not aware I was in the company of such greatness. Eleanor laughed. You know, Eleanor, you could just let me relay the information. She laughed as if someone said something.
It's a pretty complicated sentence.
It is.
It's got Eleanor in there twice. That kind of sticks out, but I think it needs to be there twice.
No, I don't have a problem with that sentence.
Okay.
It seems to be that the dragon took over.
Yeah. And she's like saying, you can just let me speak. You can talk to me and I'll relay it. This is her coming to the grips with the power she's getting.
Yeah.
Which Moo will have
The woodsman stayed low. Glimmer walked over to him and placed his hand on his bare shoulder. He arose as Eleanor said, Sorry about that. The dragon spoke through me. She let out another laugh. I'm just a woman, nothing more. And I wish for a friend, not a follower. Stand up, friend, and tell me how I can get to... What was it again? Oh, yeah. This paragraph's cute.
It gives her the more character.
It does.
She's missing so much of it from the beginning. Because she can't.
The will of the divine arcane. She rolled her eyes at herself. Okay, where to, my fine fellow? Glimmer laughed at her misunderstanding.
Oh, wait, parentheses. Parentheses.
We journeyed to the land of Gilgar.
I think that I isn't supposed to be there because I spell it without the I later.
Gilgaria.
It's Gilgaria, yeah.
Gilgaria, okay. The seat of the first power. The blessed tale. The one that never ceases.
So the Gilga is from Gilgamesh. He's one of the first stories written in the English language, in the human universe.
Put your closing quotes there. I didn't put it in quite the right spot, but give me some pliers when you get a chance. After he pointed off in a direction, they went. He returned to a bow. After a bow.
So he did it one last time and then went back to talk to us. And then the thing resumes as they speak.
The distant sound of an axe on wood eventually resumed. There is no place in the land of Fae, only the journey. Wait, how are we going to get to the land of Gilgaria? She stumbled over the name. Everything you see is an illusion. all we know it is. Why not pretend? Okay, yeah. What?
Say it, everything is an illusion. We all know it is.
We all know it is. Thank you.
That's the end of his sentence, and then he answers. He repeats the sentence.
Why not pretend?
Why not pretend? We all know it's an illusion. Why not pretend? At least it can be at the very least it can be enjoyable. There's no death, so
yeah.
The action is for fun, not for murder purposes.
As you humans like to say, and you have the quote wrong, we use our imagination. After all, it is all. It is all we have. No, get rid of the S again. Oh, it's all we have. Yeah.
Or it is all we have.
After all, it is all we have.
Use your imagination.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So it's a land. This isn't a place. This is like stepping into imagination, wherever we draw that from, whatever that is.
Seeing as he plucked an apple out of a tree and tossed it to her. The people of Gilgaria are an ancient people who live in caves near a more temperate part of the forest. The forest was already changing. The trees became smaller. The foliage changed, and it got a little hot. So put the end quote there. The forest was already changing. The trees became smaller. The foliage changed. There's commas that are missing here.
Trees shouldn't be getting smaller. They should be getting bigger. We're going to a jungle. Yeah, I think it just needs to be expounded upon. I don't think there's enough stuff happening there.
Okay.
We live in a more temperate part of the forest.
Uh-huh.
That's the idea.
How about it got a little warm? Or warmer? Not just hot? You can say it got a little humid?
Yeah, I think I need to go. I think I need to be more wordy than I am.
Well, I think of like when I think of hot, I'm thinking
the trees changed from a simple deciduous to a broader, more exotic palm tree style. Something like that, you see?
Yeah.
Getting larger and more exotic. It turned from the standard deciduous tree of a gentle forest to a larger, more exotic, temperate forest.
You need to definitely expound on the change that's happening.
Yeah, and then it gets hot because of it's the nature of the journey. It's like this place needs to be hot to tell the story. So it's getting hot now. It's like the world is changing around them.
Right.
There's no place to go. You go there. It's really hard to explain. I think that's why the Fae don't we're like talking about it. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I just thought of something.
What?
After he pointed off in a direction, pointing seems to be very specific, but waving.
No, he's pointing that way is the Galgaria.
But is it really that way? Could you go that way and go there?
Yeah, probably.
So just wave off.
Well, it depends on the direction. I think that there's like different directions in the forest.
So if you went a different direction.
But the problem is I don't think it's Euclidean. You know, it's not like the way we understand space and time.
Yeah.
It's a different function of it.
Here's my point about this is that it would be funny if he just waved versus point because, yeah, he's going in a specific direction, but it's not
it's over that
so, way. Yeah, it's over that way.
But this is like...
But is it really over that way or is
it's like God came and asked you which way something is. Are you going to do that to him? The dragon, I mean?
No, because as humans we point because we know that way. See, that way is east. Mm-hmm. But in the Fey world, could you do that? Could you say that's east?
Yeah, but we're talking non-Euclidean geometry.
I understand.
So,
that's what I'm saying. In the Fey world, could you point and say that is east?
No, I don't think so. There are times in which that would work, but not all the time.
Not all the
Not
time.
in the forest either.
So,
like if you went to Gilgaria, there is an east.
So, my idea here is that in the Fey world, this has more meaning than this.
Maybe. I'm trying to think if maybe there's an alternative way. I could say bid them farewell.
Well, you have him bowing.
With a gentle bow.
Yeah, you already have him bowing. After he pointed off in the direction they went, he returned to his chopping after a simple bow. Direction here doesn't seem to be...
No, it's not, but pointing doesn't always provide exact direction either. Which way is north?
That way.
But it's not just specifically that way. You can go, you can point like, I can't like line it up.
No, if you point...
I can point like that way, and you can point like that. Yeah, I can't do it.
No.
You put your other finger up. Now put your other one up. Those are both pointing north.
No, they're not. This one's pointing northeast.
You could be more specific if you needed to, and you could argue that it's maybe pointing east, but I could also
east.
Exactly. So it's a little too far away to be pointing. It has to be pointing north.
No, it's pointing northeast because this
Yeah,
is
you
north
could.
and this is east.
But if you had to pick one, it would be north.
No.
Okay. Just no.
It's just no. Because I'm not pointing north. I would be pointing that way.
It can be vague. If somebody said, if you asked somebody which way was north and they pointed northeast-ish, would they be wrong? Would you be going north if you went that direction?
No.
Okay. You'd be going northeast.
You would be.
Well, if you're going northeast, you're also going north. You're going north and east.
Yes, you're going north and east. And
You're being
east.
pedantic.
And east.
Yes, but that's fine. But you're also going north. So you'd be pointing north if you're pointing northeast.
I guess then it doesn't really matter. Let's just keep going. We're going to sit here and fight about this.
You're just unwilling to be wrong about it. Fine.
Uh-huh. Because I'm right.
Because northeast is northeast and not north at all.
Yeah.
Even though it uses the word north in its name.
Yes, it's part of north, but it's also part of east.
Yes, but that doesn't mean we can ignore the north just because it has the east in it.
But you're not... No, what you're saying is to ignore the east
Boo!
completely.
Yes.
And only focus on the north.
But that's because it's true. There is a north there.
There is a north there. You're right.
Strangle me.
No.
I got it on camera if you're going to strangle me.
Anyway. Just forget it then. Ignore what I have to say. Just
I don't
let's
mean
move
to
on.
ignore what you have to say. I understand that you're saying that northeast is separate from north. And I'm disagreeing, stating that north is in its name, making it north. So were you to point northeast, you are pointing north.
If I go to the North Pole and I ask, where's north? And someone points me northeast, would I ever hit the North Pole?
No, but you would always be walking north.
But I would never hit the North Pole.
But you don't need to hit the North Pole to go north. You just need to be going north. I'm saying north too much. It sounds funny now. North. North.
But that's the point I'm sitting here making, is that in the human world, if I need to go to a specific place and someone points slightly off center, I'm not going to get there. In the Fey world, you could point slightly off center and still get there.
Yeah.
Right?
The wave is fine, but it feels dismissive, and there was a dragon there. The wave is dismissive.
But it seems to me that the Fey world would know that's not a dismissive thing. That's how they are. To Eleanor being a human, yeah, maybe it's dismissive, but do you think really a dragon who understands how the Fey world works would think that's dismissive?
It's Eleanor. Give you that.
Eleanor is the only...
Yeah, but it's like, would he do it is really the question. Not would he do it to Eleanor, but would he do it?
How would the Fae help each other through the journey? Or would they?
Help with what?
How would the Fae naturally help someone through a journey? To get to where they're going in the journey.
What were you asking? They help. They do the things that are required to help.
Right. So what's required to help here? You keep saying there's a dragon in front of them. Yes, there's a dragon in front of them. There's something of great, immense power right here. Mm-hmm. But how, if it was just Glimmer and this woodsman, how would that interaction go? Hold on.
You can wait a minute. She got her snackins in now. She's ready to go. You think? If the problem is putting Glimmer in there, it wouldn't really make any sense. Just Glimmer alone. He'd have to have something there. That's why she spoke up, I think, right away. Glimmer's not just there to dick around. He's doing something. He's got power backing him up.
That's what I'm saying. We could probably just push on. That seems to be more of a, like your other one about the force changing. It's a little bit heavier writing than we want to spend right now, kind of thing, maybe, and just get all our points out of the other things.
There's so much
like
to
the
say,
noises
so.
of larger creatures came stepping out of view. Is it dangerous? She asked, reaching it out to push some tall grass out of the way. The noises of larger creatures came stepping just out of view. The noises came out, not the large creature.
Jesus Christ.
The noises.
Oh my god! What is that sentence? Ah! Okay.
The noises of larger creatures came stepping just out of view. Puppy. The noises of larger creatures shook the earth as their great feet came stepping just into view. Much better. You want to quote the, is it dangerous?
We're working on it. Hold on.
We're almost done. This is like short. This is tiny. Little baby things happening here.
Oh, tiny babies.
Little tiny baby things. His response was not very encouraging. Very. His response was not encouraging. Get rid of that very and keep the other very. Wrong screen. They pushed on ahead, keeping quiet as they moved. The trees and the grass gave way to a clearing. In the center of a low valley was a sort of cliffside. Little constructions out front marked the life that lived in there. They are called gillfolk. She could see them. They look like men hunched over, covered in furs. They don't speak a lot, or well. Just bear with me, and I'll get us to the first will. He stepped out, and she followed. Their clothes changed to match what as they walked in.
Stop it. Quit being mean.
Alright, assortment of smaller flying fairies. That's not how you spell fairies.
Fairies.
Yeah, you need another eye in there.
Oops. It's fair. It's fair. Like your face is fair. Oh my goodness. Okay.
They don't speak a lot, or well. Just bear with me and I'll get us to the first will. He stepped out and she followed. Their clothes changed to match.
This needs to change. This needs to change. I need to just grab it, don't I? Oh.
Do these clothes have to be so revealing? You're a dragon, you can change it, he said, laughing under his breath. That's what she said, Eleanor sighed. I was wondering...
That's what she said. Ow.
I was wondering if they'll say anything about us looking different.
We're working on it.
Oh no, we don't look like anything as we move through the journey. Everyone sees what they see, nothing more. That is infuriating to read. Everyone sees what they see, nothing more.
Yeah.
An answer in her head.
It's a non-answer, isn't it? That's kind of what I was going for.
The dragon is answering it for her now.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The dragon's helping her through it. He kind of is figuring that out, I think.
Yeah. No, your last chapter was much better than this chapter. But.
Well, I mean, you gotta spill this shit out as fast as I can.
But.
So let's talk about their clothing. Their clothing was the simple furs of the people that live there.
Well, tell me about their clothing.
There it is.
Their clothes changed to the same simple furs. Puppy, just wait a sec, okay? Little emo dog. Here. Oh gosh. Dog loves ice. And she just bit my fingers to get the ice out of my hands. Their clothing's changed to...
Water.
That's why I'm giving her some ice for now until we're finished. Toy? The same simple furs. They were not covering much. Eleanor messed with the fringes of her new garments, showing off a little more skin than she was used to.
So the narrator says it's not covering much, and then Eleanor kind of shows her displeasure with it.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
And then he says, so we this is not confusing, right? This is what that's what she said is not confusing.
Uh-huh.
It's funny that that's what she said.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's funny because it's you know the joke.
Yeah. I was wondering if they will say anything about us looking different.
It's about how much the individual wants to be engaged in the journey.
Right.
How much you want to see.
So if you walk up to the woodsman,
yeah,
you might not see.
He might have had a tunic on. In
Yeah.
Glimmer in Eleanor's eyes.
Yeah.
It's about what you want to see more than it is about what they want you to see.
Why does Glimmer want to see a man chopping down cheese with no shirt on?
I was just giving an example. It's just so it's pure imagination, so none of this is tangibly real.
Yeah.
So I know I'm treading into this territory. Then why even read the book, right? If it's none of it's real, it's all imagination. Why even read the book?
Because it's the viewpoint of someone else's imagination. That's why you read the book, because it's someone else's.
And what's the goal of the book?
To smash the two together.
To take imagination and reality and merge them.
Right.
And create one existence now. One way of living between the two.
We hear you. We're almost done. Like 2 more minutes. Maybe not even that.
Yeah, we're looking at the end here.
Yeah. No, this last
So he's
little...
just answering the question up here. There's nothing's
Right.
going to happen.
His vague answer seemed to infuriate her at first, but then she quickly calmed down and answered, in her head.
And then we introduce Gar.
And then we introduce someone punching Glimmer right into the stomach.
Yeah. And that's it. Thanks for listening.
Have a good day.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
It's not for the bogans to just has. They can sit right on the edge, and you can stare at them. Come on, get up here. Get up here.
She tried to get it herself?
Yeah. Stay. Now look into the camera and say, I can speak like a real human. Do it. Say, I can speak like a real human. Speak. Oh, there it is. You did the speakins.